Hello and welcome back to the channel. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There is a very interesting quote by Albert Einstein, and you can see it on the screen here. It says that the problems that exist in the world today cannot be solved by the level of thinking that created them. Now, for me, this statement has a direct link to Whittico. And some of you may say how. And for those of you who is not familiar with Whittico, I did a video on this not long ago. It's actually a very serious mental disease. Okay, a disease that is held by people who are sociopathic, psychopaths, reprobate, narcissist, whatever. Okay. But when you look at this statement and you dissect it, there is a direct link to it, okay? People of all cultures can have this disease called Whittico. They can have it, and you can see it in their actions. A person with Whittico, their actions are very clear to the rest of the world. There is no denying it. So you can't look and say, you know what, I'm not sure. Something about that person, I think they may. It's not like that, okay? It is not like that at all. It is very clear. But it's hidden very well because so many things have been just simply accepted to where people don't know what they're dealing with, right? I just recently found out about Whittico myself. I've always seen the traits and the attributes of a person with it, but I didn't know that there was an actual name given to it, okay? Now, again, I'm going to state this quote by Albert Einstein. It says, "The problems that exist in the world today cannot be solved by the level of thinking that created them." Now, let me draw that connection for you. I find it amazing that, let's just say disease, for instance. There are certain diseases that have been proven and stated that were created by man in some type of lab, right? Now, we've all heard that before. Certain diseases over the years, over the centuries, whenever you want to think about it, okay? Certain diseases have been created by mankind in labs. And you will have the same people, as a matter of fact, in some cases, the same lab that created the disease create the cure. And so for me, that would bring a question to the cure, right? Because it's like, you created this, now you're telling me you have the cure for this? Interesting, huh? Interesting. That's what came to mind when I thought of this. And then I look at the world's problems, for instance. Let's talk about food. Technically, now I look at a lot of very interesting, informative, educational content, right? I look at a lot of these things because I'm one of those who like solutions, real solutions, right? So I look at a number of different types of videos, and one of them I look at is about, the food deserts. Ron Finley, he's a brother who calls himself the Gangster Gardener out in LA. And he has made some moves in this world towards food independence in food deserts that have been noticed. A lot of people call on him to come and speak. One thing that he stated that really, it bothered me, but, it shows that his eyes are open to these things, and so many others as well. He says in his area, in his neighborhood, so many dialysis clinics are popping up, and they're just as common as just a regular store in the community. They're popping up really fast. Dialysis centers. Now, this same community has restaurants everywhere, hardly any grocery stores that would provide good produce for the people, but vacant lots and restaurants everywhere. And with that, dialysis centers in his neighborhood. And so let me draw the connection for you there to the statement that the problems that exist in the world today cannot be solved by the level of thinking that created them. And so you have a system that allows nothing but fast food joints to be placed in food deserts. Fast food, this is what the people have as their choice of what to eat. And the same system says, oh, the people are getting sick, so let us put some dialysis centers in their communities to deal with this sickness that was created by the food that they ate in their hood. Do you all see where I'm going with this? They know that this food is doing this to the people, and that lack of good food is also doing this to the people. Now, I'm going to throw a curveball in here for a moment. I have to do this, right? I have to throw this curveball in there. My thinking is that if Ron Finley can draw the conclusion that fresh produce needs to be in my community, so I'm going to take that leap. I'm going to jump out here and start growing it myself. Now, I'm not necessarily saying do it the way that he did as far as with the parkways and everything, which it ended up working out for his good, and I'm so happy about that. But some people do have yards in some of these communities. You have these churches, in which he talked about these churches as well in some of his speeches, how they're doing nothing for the people, right? But some of these churches also have space or land that they can grow food on. So even though someone brings a problem into our community, and in this case, I'm talking about the fast food restaurants and no other choices of food, even though the problem was brought there, do we have to indulge in it? Some of our people are willfully doing this. They enjoy eating this garbage. They enjoy it, right? And so if Ron Finley can say, look, I'm just going to grow my own food, why couldn't many others draw that same conclusion? This is why the Bible says that my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. They're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. In other words, what I'm trying to say is just because someone throws a stumbling block before us, like I've talked about in other videos, okay, we see the stumbling block, but it's been there for so long that our ancestors had to deal with this stumbling block. So since we know it's there, shouldn't we say, you know what, I'm going to create a way around this stumbling block? I'm not going to let that problem that exists in the world today be solved by the same level of thinking that created it. I'm going to create my solution to that problem. That is what Ron Finley and so many others have done. We've been looking at a lot of the community gardens that have been popping up in Detroit. These people have said, look, you say I have a food desert. You may be very instrumental in creating that food desert, but I'm going to solve that issue by growing my own food. So essentially what I'm trying to say is we got to stop, even though we can look at these quotes and we say, see, they created the problem. We may do that, but we can't ride around on that and say they created the problem when we are well within our means to create our own solutions. Meaning, you don't have to go to the fast food restaurant. You can actually get some seeds. You can come together with a group of people, just like Ron Finley did, just like the Griffin Gardens in Detroit, just like so many other community gardens that have popped up. You've had groups of people come together. As a matter of fact, there's another story. I can't remember this lady's name, but the focus was not really her name. In Detroit, this elder lady, I think she's almost 80 now, or she may have already crossed over into that. And she says she's pretty much going to be growing food till the wheels fall off, right? And so this woman, she was doing so much in her community in Detroit, in an area where most of the houses have already been burned and torn down, right? But she was doing so much in creating food in the so-called food desert in her community that someone took notice, and they blessed this woman with a beautiful tractor that she's able to move soil around on her land. And at her age, she's on that tractor wheeling and dealing like there's no tomorrow. I was so proud looking at Mama doing that. I said, "You doing your thing, Mama." I don't know the lady, but when I see elders like that, I call them Mama, And so I was so proud of her to see her up there at that age on a tractor, handling her business, growing food in the hood. We are without excuse. If she can do it, so can we. If she can do it, so can we. It was a beautiful thing to witness. And like I've said, some people are taking back control of that. They are saying, look, I'm not going to let this system just put nothing but fast food restaurants in my community, and this is what I feed my family on a daily basis. I'm going to get in that soil. I'm going to form a group. I'm going to come together with others. There are people making moves in that direction. Now, with Ron Finley, no one started off on this journey with him. He started off on this journey and people joined afterward. You see, they joined afterward because they saw his efforts. That's usually what happens. Others will join after. Like he said, like the brother said, he said, if a kid can grow some kale, a kid will eat some kale, because they're going to be like, look, I grew this. One thing that we do with our kale, and our children like it. You get yourself some kale. You wash it off. You dry it off very well. You put it on a baking pan with perhaps some foil, aluminum foil, and you season it with a little bit of salt and some cayenne pepper, and you dehydrate it in the oven, not bake it. You have to put it like very low so the hot air is circulating. Put that in the oven. Make some kale chips. Whatever seasonings you want. It don't just have to be what I mentioned. But children love those kale chips. Adults, well, some adults, so some children, but our children love it because it tastes so good. As a matter of fact, our little daughter, Grace, she knows how to make them because she likes them. So if a kid grows kale, they'll eat kale. That's a quote from Ron Finley. So I wanted to encourage you all this morning because we are at the point where we really don't have a choice. And so at this point, I want to continue to give you those pep talks to let you know that we got to do what we have to do. Instead of us focusing on those who created the problems in the world today and believing that they are also the solution, instead of us focusing on that, be aware that it's going on, but say, you know what? No, thank you. I will come up with my own solution. Because how can the person who is the reason, or the group that is the reason why a lot of people are having failed health, because they set the system up like this, how can I look to them now for the solutions? In which some of their solutions are to just put a dialysis center right in the neighborhood where they created the problem to begin with? Okay. Understand where I am coming from. And it goes beyond food, y'all. Like I said, if you create a disease and you're also the creator of the cure, it's something very suspect about that to me. So if you're creating the problems or the issues, now you think I'm supposed to depend on you or trust you to create the solutions to, that does not make sense. All right. I am done with this video. This is my morning Joe for you. There's a lot of people who use that name too. I guess it refers to coffee. But anyway, this is my morning Joe, or my morning tea. We can even say that. I want you to ponder on the things that I've stated in this video. Okay, it is a pep talk, of course, but it is a good pep talk. It is to help you to be encouraged to move in the right direction, because this is it. We have no choice at this point. in the comment section below. Please share your thoughts, but remember to keep it tight and keep it right. But until next time. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.